Tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa appiccasayang dhammo nayang dhammo mahiccassa santuttayang dhammo nayang dhammo asantuttassati. 各位朋友们，大家晚上好！欢迎大家来学习佛法。我的演讲主题是幸福。Good evening, everyone, and it's a great pleasure to share the words of the Buddha, the wisdom of the Buddha with you. So today, I like to share some thoughts of Buddha's teaching, which is focused on happiness. So, Buddha mentioned in one sutta in Anguttara Nikaya, one discourse called Anuruddha Sutta. In this sutta, Venerable Anuruddha, fully enlightened Arahant, had a great thoughts, 8 kind of great thoughts. From these great 8 kind of thoughts, I just recite 2 thoughts just as a starting point for this Dhamma talk. So what he said, this Dhamma, the teachings of the Buddha, is for the one who is modest and not for the one who is aggrandizing, or person who has so much seeking, so many things. And also this Dhamma is for the one who is contented and who is happy and who is seeking happiness. And also not for the one who is uncontented, dissatisfied or unhappy. So as we all know, that Buddha also mentioned, we human beings, not only human beings and other beings, Buddha said, Sukha Kamani Bhutani. All beings in this universe are pleasure seekers, joy seekers. They are seeking always something to be happy. So we are here to be happy, right? So when we talk about this happiness, Buddha has explained there are 3 types of happiness. But most of our happiness is based on our sensorial experiences. That is how we ordinary human beings, we ordinary people, we always seek happiness based on our senses. That is called samisa sukha, or material or physical happiness. Then also Buddha explained little further, going further, another kind of happiness, that is the meditative happiness people gain when you reach and when you practice, when you develop a greater level of meditation and reach, which is called jhanic experience. And also this happiness based on jhanic sukha or jhana sukha. And also this is temporary. Regarding the first happiness, we have this happiness, what is called based on our sensorial experiences, which is temporary and momentary, and it can fade away in any moment. So this is the nature of the sensorial experience. So when we eat very good food, when we have very nice things to see, or when we hear nice sounds, or when we have good touching sensations, and also when we have very sweet smells, we are very happy, we are very attracted. we are contented. But fortunately or unfortunately, these experiences will not last forever. Most of our happiness experiences remain very momentary, very short period. So then Buddha explained to achieve even more greater, more higher, more deeper level of happiness. This is called Nibbānik Sukho, Nibbānang Paramang Sukhang. The highest happiness is the happiness you reaching the enlightenment, reaching the purification of mind, and reaching your highest level, highest potential level in human life. So, in order to be happy, if you are limited your life only to these sensorial experiences, that can bring from sometimes more disappointments and also more frustrations and also some kind of unhappy situations. So Buddha also explained many types of happinesses. For example, as lay people, we have the happiness of possessing things. So you have ownership, you can own things, you can earn things and own things. So this is called Atti Sukha. So in Buddhism, nowhere Buddha praise poverty, or like if you don't have enough things to live, Buddha never praised. Some religions, it is praised that to be born as a poor or poor person is sometimes praised. But in Buddhism, the poverty or being rich per se is not something wrong. You have to make effort and make a lot of strategies and work hard, and you have to have this happiness gained through possession. So as a lay person, you need to have house to live, food to eat, and medicine to take, and also clothes to wear. But it doesn't mean that you need too much. The most of the problems arising in this modern world, in this modern society, is our greed is greater, and our desire to have more and more and more materialistic possessions brings us more dissatisfactory and unsatisfactory and very stressing mindset are built in our mind. So, and also, it is also very important to enjoy our resources that we have gathered for our life. So Buddha said this is called Bhoga Sukha. When you are enjoying your possessions, some people buy good car but they use taxi maybe. Some people have good nice sofa, they never sit down, and they just keep their show off that we are having this, or I have owned this or that. So this kind of thinking and this kind of practice will not bring happiness. It's become more stingier and more greedy and more miserly. So we have to enjoy our possessions and also use our possession for the happiness of others. That is also a very important fact of this enjoying the possession. If you have many things, normally we are very selfish and we are concentrating about ourselves, and sometimes some people are more generous and more socialized, and they want to share their things, and but majority of our ordinary people, their thinking pattern and their way they are interacting is some way or the other more selfish. So we need to enjoy our possessions for the benefit of ourselves and for the benefit of others. So Buddha said, when you have a wealth, Buddha said, Atthanang suketi pineti. You make yourself happy, you treat yourself happy, and not only that, you treat your wife, children, neighbors, your relatives, and all the social responsibilities, all these things you need to taking care of. So when you do that, you can be more happier. And also the happiness of indebtedness, Normally the modern society always encourage to live on debts, using credit cards and taking loans, and it is inevitable process. But in our day-to-day life, we need to manage our life so that you will not go into debt trap where you cannot afford to pay your installments, you cannot afford to enjoy your life because of the stress that is coming out of this too much usage of things which is unaffordable and unbearable. Then also that happinesses, the happinesses that arising from these worldly things go beyond when we talking about the spiritual world. So normally many people doesn't consider in their life whether their behaviors is moral or immoral, it's good or bad. They normally like to gain their wealth very immoral way, or causing damages and harms to other people's property or other people's interests. And we may gain so much resources very unrighteous way. So Buddha said, when we have these behaviors, our mind, our words and our actions, we need to have gained this spiritual wealth. Because when we gain this spiritual wealth, it will help us to increase our happiness. Because normally we normally hide our secret things and our sins and everything to other people. Once there was a great teacher. This teacher had many students. It was the tradition of the teacher to give his daughter to the best student. So he doesn't know, the teacher doesn't know anyone to choose, because there are bright students, good students, strong students, which one to choose. So teacher drew a good strategy. He told, okay, I am going to give my daughter as a gift to the best student in this institute, in this college. So, but you have to do, I am checking you, you have to do a certain task which I request you to do, and once you do it, I will consider which ones to be selected. So, fair enough. So he said the rules of this task. He said everyone must go and steal, which is not good for a teacher to teach such things, but this is an experiment he was doing. So he asked, you have to go and steal, but one thing, anyone cannot see this stealing. So you have to do it as in a deeper level. Nobody can notice that you are stealing, right? So this is the condition. So all these students, within they give a period of week time to plan and execute their robbery or the stealing. So most of the students went to different houses in their college area and took many things without quoting. Some of them also caught. And then on the final day, all the students came and they show, okay, I took a necklace, I took this, I took that. And one student said, he didn't bring anything. Then the teacher asked, why didn't you bring anything? He said, you said in your conditions of this task, nobody should notice that you are stealing. But when I try to steal, I notice somebody is knowing it. Somebody is understanding that I am going to steal. Who is that? Then the teacher said, my mind knows that I am going to steal. So therefore, I couldn't steal anything. Then the teacher decided, I will give my beautiful daughter to you because you are so honest about yourself. So this anavajja sukha, the happiness you gain from having led a very beautiful and spiritual, nice, kind life is because you know you are honest to yourself, you are upright to yourself and genuine to yourself. So you know that my life, when you look back, when you have a retrospection of your life, my life is such a beautiful life. I can celebrate it. I can enjoy it. I can think back and relax and also be happy. So these are the one of the many happinesses you can gain in your life. So, and also the Buddha said the happiness is the highest wealth. So normally people think if I have a lot of money, then I will be very happy. Of course, in this money-centered world, we need a lot of money. There's no doubt the fuel prices and everything is going up and we need more money. But money per se cannot make us happy. If you ask some rich people, very wealthy people, very powerful people who has a lot of billions of money, they are sometimes not happy. They are not happy at all. Sometimes they worry their relatives will take, or thieves or robbers will take, or they are not enough. They still want to earn more in this rat race. So money is essential part of our life, undeniable part of our life. But yet we need to consider that it is not the only criterion that make us our life. So we need to earn money righteously and have enough money to maintain our life standard and not create. But in that rat race, sometimes we don't neglect. We neglect our health. We neglect our the mind balance, and we may lose our bodily health as well as mental health. So therefore, we need to balance our mind. And also, to be happy, there are many practices in our life that can enhance our happiness and also that can destroy our happiness. So one of the good thing we can practice is letting go. Buddhism is all about this letting go. Because the moment you start to practice Buddhism, you are told to getting rid of your negative emotions and also negative behaviors, all that. So letting go is one of the best way to be happy. Because our mind, the moment we born to this world, we don't bring anything, right? We born naked. But how many things we are collecting and gathering and accumulating, and how much we get so many material things. So in our life, we have to let go two things. One is letting go of our material things, and also other one is the letting go of our emotional baggage. So once there were two Japanese monks, and they were about to cross the river. And there was one lady crying and asking help. Then one elder monk went to this lady and asked, why you are crying? Then she said, Reverend Sir, I came to this side of the river to grow some vegetables for my farm. But unfortunately, while I was here, the level of the river, the water level has increased. So I cannot go. But still I have two babies there other side of the river. So they are worried that their mother is coming now, it is getting dark. I don't know how to cross this river, I don't have a boat. Can you please help me? Then this kind elder monk, okay, I will bring you to the other side. And he swam, keeping her on her back. And historians there. And after 1.5 hours, maybe half an hour, that two monks were walking. And he is scolding the monk, look, our teacher has taught us not to look at even women, and also not to talk, and not to touch. So yet you have bring this woman all the way from other side of the river to this side. It's really bad of you. And the elder monk told, listen, I have left her on the other side of the bank. But you are bringing her, still carrying her in your mind so long, even after let her go on her own way, you are still thinking about this. So this is our nature of the mind, how we think about these things. For example, if you are working in the office or if you are working in the company or where, so let's say one employee said, your work is done, you done really well, your duty is performed so nice. Another employee come and complains, oh, you didn't do your duties yesterday and you have make a mess of this thing and all that. So how do you think? What will we remember? If you got a nice comment and somebody complain you, what will be in our minds? Maybe rest of our life, or maybe many years in our life. The complaint that is made by the employee will be remembered for a long time than the compliment that is made in the same company on the same day. If you are mathematically thinking, it must be equal, right? There's a complaint, there's a compliment, but it doesn't work like that. Our human psyche, our way of thinking is quite different, because we are more easy to grasp the negative things happen to us, or negative experiences we have experienced in our life will be remembered and recollected, replayed in our mind many, many times. That is the one of the greater case or greater reason that make us unhappier. Because we live in this past so long, and sometimes we rewind and recollect and these events like a movie, and creating frustrations, creating anger in our mind, creating so many negative emotions in our mind. So Buddha said that we need to start forgiving other people in order to, if you really want to be happy, one part of that is to be forgiving others. So forgiving is not an easy task. It is easy to be said, but then done. But whether it is easy or not easy, we must keep trying to forgive. Because we have to consider and think about the mistakes and commissions and omissions done by the others in a different perspective, in a Buddhist perspective. How we look at these mistakes. Buddha said, okay, because we all are contaminated or polluted by our defilements, sometimes we really don't know what we are doing. At the moment of doing, we are so immersed in our thoughts, so deeply captured our desire or our great kind of emotions that will hinder our judgment. To a level, we become like emotionally blind. We don't know what it is right or wrong. Sometimes later on, when we reflect about it, and when we talk about it, and when we think about it, we realize, I did a mistake. I shouldn't have told like that. I shouldn't have talked like that. I shouldn't have acted like that. We will come to that realization. But it's too late. So, whether it is too late or not, one doable thing for that is to forgive. No other thing we can do. So we must ready to forgive and also forget. That's why these mental impressions we are creating in our mind, in our hearts, are very hard to erase or delete or remove. This is very, very hard. So therefore, we need to forgive and forget all these past events which will enhance, which will increase, which will give us more peace. So at the end of the day, what is more important? At the end of the day, your peace is the most important. Your happiness is the most important. So therefore, one thing we can do is to forgive. And another thing about that, we have to consider how our mind works. Buddha says the kilesa and upakilesa. These are the defilements are working like the computer program. When you have the program, you have the malware, you have the corrupt files, and you have viruses and all these things. So our mind also have this kind of, defilements and mental impurities. They are like poison. So if you have poison, you don't touch it with your hands. Maybe you have gloves or some protective measures are taken in order to protect your mind. So our mind is a great creator. For example, Buddha said prapancha. Prapancha is like exaggeration or spreading out or conceptual preparation, distortion or mental preparation, automatic, thinking patterns or rumination. These things happen in our mind. So it is very easy, based on one word or based on one incident in your office or in your home, you create a whole different story in your mind. You create a very big scene or very big incident inside your mind, beside your partner or your friends doesn't know that what is going on in your mind. But we magnify it, we multiply it, and we give more and more like exaggerative meaning to these incidents. So we need to, this mental exaggeration is itself is an agony created by ourselves. So we need to pacify our mind. So we need to be aware how we can pacify, how we can reduce and remove this self-created agony by our own mind. So that's why it's very important for us to not to create the unnecessary thinking. So in Buddhism, there's one thing called chittanupassana, looking at your own thoughts and emotion, which is one of the best technique, one of the very useful method we can use to overcome when we do this rumination, when you do this kind of thinking, unnecessary thinkings. So we can be aware arising of these thoughts. That's why in Buddhism there's one Pali term, nice Pali term, called yoniso manasikara. In Pali it says like beginning place or opening place or place of origin. So when then and there, when the thought arising in your mind, then and there, you try to see okay, I am having this greed, I am having this anger, I am having this delusion, I am having this jealousy, or I am having this kind thoughts. You are aware of your thoughts. What happens is, normally we don't know where we are, that we are lost in our thoughts, or we are like misguided kite without a string, you know. If there's a string, you can control the kite, but if there's no string, it can go anywhere. So our mind is also running around and going everywhere. So to have this kind of awareness will help understanding your prapanchas or proliferation of mental expansion. So once there was a beggar, and he was staying blocking the road. And this beggar told at that road, it's a narrow road, and king and his retinue, the group of army and all these people were going towards. Then the army officers in the on the path told this beggar, this person, please move away, our king, emperor is coming. He said, no, I don't want to move away. If he wants, let him bypass me and go. I don't want to allow him to. Why should I allow him to go? He said, okay, you don't agree, you might get maybe death penalty or some punishment. Why don't you move away? No, I will not move away. Then all the people in the army, the big officers, tried to remove him from the path, couldn't. So then the king happened to come by that time, and king asked, this beggar asked, why do you want me to move away? I also this citizen of this country. So why? Then he said, okay, I will let you go. I will ask some questions. If you answer correctly, then I will let you go. Then okay, he asked some questions. What did he ask? He asked, do you have many wealth? Yes, I do. I have many wealth. Then are you happy? Yes. Then do you have many wives? Yes. But this person say, I don't have any wives, but I am happy. Then he asked, do you have enemies? Yes. How many enemies? So are you happy about that? No, I am not happy. Sometimes I can't sleep even. I am worried whether neighboring country will come and attack me, our army, and take over the country. So I am very unhappy. And you have many wives. I am worried whether they cheat me or disobey me and run away from my kingdom. I am just worried. And then said, okay, who is happier? I'm the one who doesn't have so much, but I am happier. So then the king said, okay, let me pass this narrow road and let me go. Then he said, okay, I consider you as a normal person, so I allow you to go. So this normalcy that we need to understand, because it is not how many things you have, but how you look at these things in your day-to-day life. So if you can look at them in a broader sense, that these are things we can use and make use of them and make our life more beautiful. Because we can see that utilitarian value of everything. We can make use of them, but they are not giving us ultimate or final kind of happiness. And also it's very important for us to live in the present moment, because all of us live two extremes, either in the past or either in the future, worrying about and having very miserable or very agonizing kind of situation. So, and also very important things to be happy is to be happy with oneself. That means you are come in terms with yourself. Understanding your shortcomings, understanding your mistakes, and so we have to live alone. So one time Buddha in one sutra, one monk asked, how do I live alone? Then Buddha said, okay, because we give the remote controller, or we externalize our happiness because we hope our partner can make us happy, our daughter can, our son can. So this kind of externalizing happiness is not good, because happiness is our choice, and also happiness is our skill. So happiness is something we can develop. That's why in 7 Bojjhangas, Piti, you may have heard it. And Piti is happiness or joy. So joy is a skill. It is not somebody's monopoly or somebody's duty to make us happy. So it is our duty, our choice to make us happy. If we don't make us happy, nobody is going to make us happy. It is the duty of ourselves. It is our choice. So we need to be happy with ourselves to understand ourselves. So in that sutta, that when the monk asks how to lead a happy life alone, because even you are in this hall, you maybe have few people, but you are alone in your mind, because we have to live with our mind alone. Maybe you are married to 60 years, 50 years, 10 years, but still we have to live alone. It doesn't mean you ignore your partner and don't do duties towards her or show love to them. No. But you be familiar with your mind, you accept what you are and live accordingly. So in that sense, Buddha said, even you monks living in the forest, if you are regretting about the past, or you are having greedy thoughts or some fantasies, all that means you haven't come to peace with your mind. So it is very important that we can have peaceful and beautiful mind. So live in this kind of journey. Choose to. So we think that happiness is something there in future. This is another illusion we are having. So if I pass this exam, if I go to university, if I do if I get this promotion, or if I get this house done, or if I buy a car, I will be happy. So it is like a goal which is there in future, somewhere hanging there in the future. But we need to understand that Buddha says that this moment, this present moment, is the best moment for us to make us happy. So one day when I was going on an alms round, I saw very little baby. And the mother was feeding this baby and showing the birds, okay, put some rice on his mouth. He happily eat. There was nothing, just plain rice. This baby was eating. But he doesn't complain and he doesn't upset. He just enjoys this little plain, just rice. Not so many curries or not so many fancy menus or all that. So one way to make us happy, Buddha explained, Subharo, you must be easily supportable. Easily you can be happy what you are having. So this is the quality we need to develop. It doesn't come automatically. So we need to develop this kind of enjoying things what you have already. That is the big problem we are having in our life, We don't appreciate, we don't take things for granted. We just ignore and what we are enjoying already, because we are the one of the luckiest on this earth. Because maybe 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, people didn't enjoy the amount of facilities and things we are enjoying today. We are enjoying like the kings those days. They had so much things to enjoy, but we are personally, every person is enjoying the amount of comforts, like kings, you know. The kings didn't have these rails and all these planes and all that. We are enjoying. But many equipments you are having in your home and in the society, so we are enjoying. So we need to appreciate. We need to appreciate what we are having at the moment. So this is very important factor, and there are 3 factors that is discussed in the longest study on human happiness by the Harvard University. One of them is the good relationships. Relationships are sometimes hard, you have bad and negative, good and all these things. But yet, if you can continue with a commitment and good understanding, a good relationship, that will prolong people's life and that will increase the levels of happiness. So, when you are wounded in your relationships, it is your choice that you can make yourself wounded and suffer. Another choice you have is to learn from them and grow from them. So this is one of the things we can do to make us happy. And the well-being come from, the happiness come from when we have more positive actions. So we have many hormones that is interacting and secretions are happen when you do certain things. For example, when you practice generosity, give something, your hormone secretion will increase your longevity and increase your levels of well-being and happiness. And even you don't do any charity or any generous things, but if you see that somebody is doing it, and if you can have a mind thinking pattern that this person is helping this poor person, or that if you have developed that kind of mindset in your mind, then still your hormones will be grown in a work in your body in such a way that it's helpful to you. So mere fact of rejoicing others' deed also can make you more happier. So therefore, in Buddhism, happiness is a choice. So don't delegate that choice to others. And don't give your remote control of happiness to others. Okay, this person will make me happy, that person will make me happy. No. It is your responsibility. It is your practice. It is your attitude. It is where you look at your life. So we need to improve our overall way of thinking especially. This is one of the most important factors to be happy, our attitudes. And also we have some things in our life that which we can change and cannot change. For example, there are problems, there are solutions. Okay, we find the solution. There are problems, there is no solutions. Then we accept it. Instead of worrying too much, instead of thinking too much about it, we let aside and we create good mood in our mind. Because ultimately, it is very important thing for us to remember that our mindset is the happiness creator. You know, one night, Buddha was living in a remote place in Alavi, one part of India, and he was sleeping on the ground with a very bare minimum of dried leaves in the winter time, you know. India, the winter is quite heavy in North India, like UK and all other countries. And he was just lying down where the cows has walking path, and he spread some grass, some leaves, and lying down and having a sleep. Next morning, a young man came to on the way for his walking, like morning exercise. He came. This Hattaka, his name was Hattaka, and he asked from the Buddha, "Did you sleep well?" Buddha said, "Yes, of course. I am one of the person in this world who sleep well. He said, now you are sleeping here in the winter. Snow is falling and the wind is blowing so hard and it's really like piercing your body. How can you sleep so nicely and peacefully in a situation like that? Buddha said, suppose if you are living in a, let's say you are living in Malaysia, we can say let's say you go to a 5-star or 7-star hotel. You have aircon, you have nice cozy, a very nice bed, and maybe let's say he's a Muslim fellow and he has 4 wives or 5 wives or whatever. Then can he sleep well? Yes, he said, yeah, because all the facilities are there or everything is there. Then supposing while he was asleep on the bed, he have thoughts of anger, he have thoughts of delusion, he have thoughts of passion or greed. Can he sleep well? No. He said, no, cannot sleep. So Buddha said that quality of our happiness is depend on our quality of thoughts. If we have good qualities, good thinking, definitely we can have a better and peaceful and happier. So Buddha said that we should go happiness to happiness, from happiness to more happier levels of life. Even as I mentioned, what is called the ultimate happiness, which is beyond conditions, that is called Paramananda or Nibbana, which is beyond all these conditions. Because our happiness is conditioned by many things. If these conditions change, our happiness change. So therefore, friends in Dhamma, I am really blessed to have this Dhamma discussion with you this evening. And I would like to bless all the sentient beings in this whole world, in this whole universe. May they be free from sickness and may they be free from all the suffering. And I am very grateful to Venerable Nayaka Thero and all the resident monks and all the committee members and all the devotees for allowing me this opportunity to share the words of the Buddha. And may all of you be well and happy, and may you attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana by listening to this Dhamma talk. May the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha bless you, guide you and protect you. Akasattha ca bhummatta devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu sasanang. Akasattha ca bhummatta devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu desanang. Akasattha ca bhummatta devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu tvang sadha. Sabbhitiyo vivajjantu sabbharogo vinasatu mate bhavatvantarayo sukhi dikayuko bhava. Bhavatu sabbha mangalang rakkantu sabbha devata sabbha buddhanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabbha mangalang rakkantu sabbha devata sabbha dhammanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabbha mangalang rakkantu sabbha devata Sabba sanghanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te.
Okay, when we are having these thoughts of which is preventing us from being happy, maybe some incidents, people cheat, or and then you have this recollection of the same thing happening, playing in your mind. We we tend to like we're fighting it. We're saying no, I don't want to think about it, but it keeps replaying again and again, and it becomes a habit. Like every day, it's playing, and even though we are trying to, like myself, I try to practice, but it's very difficult. It's not easy.
Sure. I agree with you.
Is there any techniques or anything?
Yeah, that's
Because just now you were saying something, chitta.
Chittanupassana. Yeah.
So, can you explain further about that?
I can. Sure. As her question is, because even though theoretically when I say we can see these thoughts, but it keep coming, repeating, and it's become a like pattern in our mind. So actually we cannot deny our thoughts. What we do is actually push down our thoughts. Like emotionally we try to press down, and like it's like rubber ball. If you are putting in the water down with squeezing it inside the water, as soon as it's you take the hands from the water, it will come up to the surface. That's how the thoughts are working in our mind. So we need to acknowledge. First thing is to acknowledge, okay, I am getting frustrated, or I am getting disappointed, or I am getting angry, or whatever. So we can label the thoughts. That's what we are doing. Label and watching it. And if it is increasing, we notice that it's the emotion is overpowering and coming more and more powerful and more stronger level. And if it is decreasing and vanishing, then also we notice it. So it's like you are watching TV, but this drama and this actor and everything is inside your mind. So when you observe more, like its energy actually goes down. Moment you pay your attention to these thoughts, the energy, it's like you are diffusing a bomb, If there's a bomb is going to be exploded, the expert, the military, they can go there and cut the wire and remove the wire connection, break the circuit so that it cannot explode. So the moment you notice it, it's the turning point in these emotions. Every time you notice, it become more and more less powerful. And that's how you have to break this cycle. It's a cycle, not easy. And also I can give another example. So when I was a young child, we have called chena cultivation. Chena cultivation is where our fathers go to the jungle and they clear a piece of land and they burn it, then grow the vegetables. But because surrounding area is so many animals, maybe deers or bears or pigs, wild pigs, they come to destroy the cultivation. So when you go, you have a little house on a top of a tree with a like a shade. Then in the night we have long torch with 5 batteries, and it can hit quite long distance with when it focus. So when you hit the light in the night, searching for any animals coming and eating our cultivation, then if the light directly stuck to the eye of the animal, it cannot move. So he's like he doesn't know what to do. So it is the same thing when we focus our attention to our thoughts. Okay, this is arising and it's bothering me, and you are not rejecting it. You are not with your dislike, you are trying to throw away or move away. No, you are accepting and observing it. You become active observer. But you don't think this is my thought or this. The thought is there, right? This thought is there. Okay, anger or greed or jealousy or a disappointment or whatever. You label it. You can gradually understand, and that will lead to more deeper understanding of yourself also. Because ultimately our self-understanding is the most thing. We have other images about other people. Okay, he's like this prejudgment, he's like that, this kind of prejudgment about other people. But it is more important to understand ourselves. To understand ourselves is to watch our thoughts and how our mind playing with us. And so, we catch this player.
By just understanding that this is happening.
Yeah, right now
this
thought is growing or decreasing or increasing or it's same level. That's actually every thought is like we think, okay, the same thought is disturbing us, but in actual fact, every thought, every cell, everything in the world has like birth, sustenance, and the death. So thought is, the Buddha said, lahu parivartang. That means the mind is the most fastest thing to change. Let's say you see me after many years, then you say, oh, Bhante, you have changed and you have become fat or thin or whatever. So to notice it, it takes 2-3 years. But mind has the most fast changing thing. But one thing about the mind, you have many similar thoughts. Right? It's like a stream continuously changing and birth, sustenance and go. Then you think, okay, it is the same feeling, it is the same pain that is there in my mind. But actually many thousands of thoughts arising and sustaining and dying, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. But we think, okay, it is the same pain causing me this distress, this suffering and all that. But when you try to see more and observe more your thoughts, you will understand more and you can control and have a greater understanding about your emotions. Yeah, that's how we can do it. Yeah, most welcome. Yeah, sure.